Hello and welcome to ATFX, and this is the ECB preview. So as most traders out there will know, the European Central Bank is due to make its latest rate decision early in the European session tomorrow, and we're expecting to see some volatility in the market, especially in the euro against the dollar, as we get that update from the ECB. And last time out, we did get a cut from them, and in line with most of the central banks, they are looking to ease out of what has been their most restrictive cycle of tightening for the last few years. But what we have heard from the ECB, and this is slightly different from some of the other central banks out there, is that they are very much going to be data dependent. So they are kind of even moving either way. And really either way at the moment is whether they cut or whether they hold. I can't see any rate hikes coming out of them. But what we're still looking at here is a situation in Europe where we have got tight labour markets, and because of those tight labour markets, we've got wage growth, which is kind of unacceptable to the central bank at the moment. They still see that as an inflationary pressure, and that is why we got a hawkish cut from them last time out. And consequently, not many people in the market are expecting any action from the ECB. So it will come down to what we get from them in their statement and what we get from them in the press conference afterwards. What we'll do now is we'll have a quick look at the longer term and the shorter term charts, just to see where there's going to be some trading opportunities and what traders are looking at for the next moves in the euro. And so here we come. The hourly chart's up here, and as you can see, I've left in what was a former resistance line, which we saw a good break of, and the market has respected this line since we broke through up to nearly 109 the figure. We came down, as you can see, euro consolidated around about this former resistance line and then has bounced higher and has moved further. We've seen it top out around about 109.20 so far. We're back about 109 the figure. Now, there has been a good move, as we know, over the course of July, from sort of sub 107 levels up to 109. Now, that's more been on the back, less of euro strength, but more on dollar weakness as the Fed's turned slightly more dovish on the back of weaker US data. They're now pricing in a very strong 90% chance of a Fed cut in September. But we're also looking for a cut from the ECB in September as well. So once again, it's going to be on those rate cut expectations rather than anything else that's going to move the currency at the moment. So trend at the moment, as we know, is up and has been for the last few weeks. So an extension here intraday, if we're sitting around these levels, should see 109.60 challenge. Anything more dovish in the statement or coming out from the ECB President Christine Lagarde in the press conference could see us break down through these levels, initial levels. And it's very interesting at the moment, the 200-day moving average is coming in on the same level as that former resistance line. So around about 108.50. If all things remain equal, that could be an interesting level for traders, with bears looking to trade a break of it, and then obviously the bulls looking to pull some in around these levels. Here we can see these resistance levels that we just sort of hit, that 109.20 level. A breakthrough here does open us up for, like, from a technical perspective, all the way up to 113. But the initial first stop will be these highs around about 111.50, which is sort of back to the yearly high here. And a challenge there could go if we get another hawkish leaning side from the ECB. And I really do think that's where the risk is coming into this meeting tomorrow. So key things to look at. Obviously, if there is a rate change, things will move, and they'll move very, very quickly, because a cut coming tomorrow will see us look to attack these levels back to the downside, because it is not expected. So I think that's the number one thing. A hike tomorrow, pretty much priced out of the market. Anything that happens will see massive moves to the top side. I think the most likely scenario is we will get no change tomorrow, and it's going to be on whether there's still that hawkish leaning. And I think you've got the likes of the ECB president probably leaning on that hawkish side. And I think that is there's a risk that we do see that break. It does take us up to these highs here that we come back from the start of the year or the end of last year. That's probably, I would say, that my higher percentage call. If not, I think, all things remain equal, we're probably going to be looking at remaining at kind of the same sort of levels we're at, and then we're going to go back to Fed watching. It's going to be data out the US and any indications that we get from Fed Chair Jerome Powell. So always two sides of the currency equation, as we know. We're going to be focusing on the European side of it very much for tomorrow. but expect future moves really to come from that US side and the Fed as we move forward into future sessions and into next week's trading. So good luck trading, and thank you very much for tuning in with us here at ATFX.